Some beautiful, bittersweet news to come out of these protests. A Washington, D.C. homeowner named Rahul Dubey received a round of applause after he sheltered reportedly 70-ish protesters in his home who were hiding from police. Here he is talking to one of them about what went down.
They think on the news that we broke into your house.
No, you did not.
Are you giving us shelter?
Yeah.
We're okay here?
Yeah, you are.
Is everybody in this house okay here?
We appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. If we were to sleep here, is that okay with you?
Yeah, as long as it's
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Get on the news and tell them I said that. And you can stay here as long as you need to because they will not let you leave.
What did they do to your house?
They shot tear gas through the window.
What did they do to you when you tried to come to your house and no one was here?
Let me record that.
What did they do?
They put me up against the wall.
How long did they hold you?
About 15 seconds until I said, please let me go to my house.
How were you able to get home if they were holding you?
Because I'm not black. You know, I hope that my 13-year-old son grows up to be just as amazing as they are, and I hope that they continue to fight, and I hope they go out there today peacefully as they did yesterday and not blink, because our country needs them and needs you and everybody more than ever right now.
I love highlighting heroes and showings of solidarity in times like this because I know we're all feeling overwhelmed, but especially our black and brown neighbors who must be, and I know are, going through agony in many cases right now, and the emotions are so strong and their hearts are so heavy. More information on this. This protest in DC was more peaceful than previous ones. There has been, and it's been widely reported in this sort of riot porn way by local news and national news, rioting, looting, etc., some crimes, but this wasn't like that. The reason police were even clearing them out was because Donald Trump had his PR stunt that had to be done, where he stood in front of that boarded up church after his speech, his terrifying speech, in which he didn't say anything about police brutality and just ranted about Antifa and how he was going to send the military on American citizens, which is illegal. He had to have his photo op after that, and that caused so much more violence. Violence caused by cops. The ambush began half an hour before the city's newly imposed curfew of 7 p.m. went into effect. When the crowds were cleared, the president walked through the park to visit the historic St. John's Episcopal Church, which had been set on fire Sunday. The sudden use of force left early protesters bruised, bleeding, and in shock, although the night would ultimately end with a spattering of smashed windows and vandalized businesses. The scene in front of the White House when federal law enforcement descended was far from the violent mobs Trump described in his speech. The gathering was smaller and calmer than previous evenings, with people dancing and singing to a woman playing guitar instead of knocking over barricades. Minutes later, law enforcement officers fired at the gathered masses with rubber bullets and chemical canisters. Rahul Dubey was sitting on his porch when police started pushing the group down the street and firing chemicals, creating a frantic bottleneck that sent them scrambling for safety. It was a human tsunami, he said. I was hanging on my railing yelling, "Get in the house, get in the house." Soon there were more than 100 people in his house, the 44-year-old businessman said. They filled all 3 floors of his home and spilled out into his backyard. He promised to let them stay as long as it takes. So there the Washington Post is saying up to 100 people, but I think 60-ish, 70-ish people stayed the whole night. He fed them. He gave them water. He let them stay there, use his bathroom, just said, as long as it takes. That's solidarity. I thought that was such a beautiful story, and so many people are stepping up right now, and that's the silver lining of all of these atrocities. And I don't know how any person looks at this and thinks, I'm going to vote Republican in the fall. I am as critical of Joe Biden as anyone as a candidate, but man, these look terrible for Trump. And Trump not addressing police brutality at all, it's not going to play. This law and order shtick, it's tried and true, and I get it, it's been done for decades, but at this point, even the suburban mom in Kansas sees George Floyd being murdered and they say that's wrong, and they don't understand why the president is not speaking out about it. I can't see politically how this is going to be helpful for Trump, and that's good news for the rest of us.